Okay, people, welcome back to another, it's not a review, a custom tip, a custom mod I did on the new Hasbro Transformers Leader Class Megatron classic version. This was one of the few cases where I saw the review by Dis Thunder on the Fwoosh front page, and I saw it, I wanted it, I went out and bought it that same day. I found it at Walmart right off the bat. Rarely happens, but it happened this time, so it was fate. Quickie review, he looks good in my, amateur Transformers display. I don't buy a lot of Transformers, just, the main guys from back G1, Season 1, early, you know what I mean? So Megatron has always been missing from my collection so far. As you can see with this Optimus Prime, it's the year of the horse. I repainted the gold parts chrome. As you can see, Megatron's a little bit shorter, a little bit slimmer. He doesn't quite fit with Optimus MP10. But on the flip side, in a Decepticons display, he does look really good with Soundwave. So it's a trade-off. He'll be standing over with Soundwave and the other Decepticons. But the one thing that threw me off was his fusion cannon on his arm. It's a little bit scrawny, I guess, long. It doesn't quite look like what I think of when I think of Megatron. So I had to go out and find an alternative. And my answer was the only other Megatron I've ever owned. I was deprived as a child. I didn't have Megatron back in the day. I don't know why. But I got it from this Megatron. Now, I couldn't actually name him. I was an adult. I saw this out while Christmas shopping, and my mom bought it for me. Yeah, my mom bought it for me for Christmas. 35 years old, or however long ago that was. Flash forward to now, and the arm cannon I do like. So I went to work. I think of Megatron, it's his defining feature. Yeah, he's, silver, his face, of course, the helmet, that kind of thing. But his fusion cannon is what everybody sees. It just looks awkward. He can't bend at the elbow. But Megatron's, does some ass whooping, so he needs his big cannon. Now, it is shorter, but it's beefier. So I went to work on them. It wasn't that hard. What I did here was I split this piece, his old fusion cannon. I split it down the middle so I wouldn't harm the peg that it's attached to, this swing out peg here. And I made it removable by just boring out a peg, or a peg hole here, if you can see that. It's kind of messy, but nobody will ever see it when it's attached to his arm. Now, I knew I wanted to make this interchangeable because of the transformation to tank mode. The old fusion cannon wouldn't fit on it. The new one had to go in there. So I made it to where this would go back on and he could transform. So I pulled off the fusion cannon from the old Megatron and custom made a mount for it. Now, I sanded off the old mounting pegs that were sticking out here with the metal pin through it, and I made this at work. One of the perks of working in a shop with an industrial laser, I cut this out of aluminum and then formed it up. This is the prototype piece that I formed a little bit wrong. You can see the hole is not centered in the slot. So, tiny screw, I screwed that to the bottom of this. I painted, it had an orange tip on it, and I just painted these parts glossy black just to have them stand out a little bit from the dull black plastic of the rest of the cannon. This is sloppy, but never be seen, and it had big purple Decepticon symbols on each side. I liked them, but they were just a little bit too much, so I painted those gloss black too. They're still noticeable, but not as much. And really, it's just a slot. It just slides right on this old peg. And there you go. Megatron has a new, chunkier fusion cannon. Now, if I was... And I probably will never transform him again, just because he goes on the shelf. I like the characters. I don't care too much for the alt modes. That's why I don't care if he transforms into a tank. He looks like Megatron. If I wanted to go whole hog on this, I would remove, you know, the tank treads off his back, put the old gun barrel that he did have, G1, and then they did do the sides of the legs black, but I think the front of the legs should be black too. I think in the old cartoon they were kind of a darker gray. But going with the rest of this body, with his crotch piece and his hands and the cannon, legs, I think would look pretty sweet in black. The rest of it I am good with. Even these red pegs up here, this is G1-ish enough for my shelf. And I don't think there's a reason for it, for this to swing out like this, other than to allow him to bend his elbow. That's not part of the transformation. So it's just kind of cool. So if you're on the fence, if you're a, you know, not a die-hard Transformers collector and you just want a Megatron for your shelf, just to have Megatron and Optimus, Soundwave, you know, just the biggies, I think this at $44.95 plus tax is a hell of a deal. He doesn't beat the third-party Megatron that's about to come out, Apollyon. I believe it's called Apollyon, however you pronounce it. But for $100 cheaper, if you're not wanting to drop that kind of money, this Megatron is completely acceptable. So if you like the custom mod, if you'd like to see more, I'm working on some for Marvel Legends. Let me know down in the comments below. If you like the video, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh. Same with Michelangelo, Donatello. Pull the top of the head, or even once you have it loose, just pull up on the bandana. It pulls off the whole thing. And since I'm not, you know, I'm trying to keep the top of the heads with the proper masks, it works out because it just pulls apart. Putting Raph on Donnie's mouth, that's kind of weird. You get an even more happier Michelangelo. I'm good with that. I'll probably leave it just like this.